Every parent likes to think their baby is the cutest, and certainly modelling agency books are bulging with pictures of bouncing babies whose parents are convinced they're going to be the next big thing. But only a very few make the grade. One who did is little Nikolai. Now, the odds for this cracker of a kid getting there were stacked a lot higher. He's beaten them, though, and is now the star model for clothing company Jack and Abby. Robin James went along to meet the next big thing.
Work it! Nikolai! Hey, sweetie! Hi!
Like every good model,
Good boy!
Nikolai knows how to work it.
He's our star of the show.
With a grin guaranteed to melt hearts
He was amazing. I couldn't believe it.
and a look that has many doing a double take.
He's a little boy first, and he has a syndrome, but he is that little boy.
Just one extra chromosome meant Jackie and Brett never dreamed life for their little lad could include photo shoots, fashion covers.
You don't open children's catalogues and see a child with Down syndrome smiling, wearing modelling clothing. You know, you'll see a child with Down syndrome advertising for IHC or, you know, it's just a different concept. And, you know, he's very cute, so...
Nikolai began modelling at 3 months old after Jackie replied to an advert in a Down syndrome magazine.
I just wanted to say, hey, you know, we do clothing for every little person, whether they have a disability or not.
Kara Sabritsky had placed the ad, looking for models for her kids' clothing company, Jack and Abby.
I've had no exposure to children with disabilities at all, and so when we got Nikolai, I just thought, hey, you know, this is great. They're just perfect little people. They're smiley. He's my favourite. I just love him. He's just beautiful, yeah. I'm very, very privileged.
It was such a great thing to be able to say to family and friends, hey, he's been modelling. And it's that, you know, it gives you that, it's acceptance and a chance for Nikolai, when he's older, to look back and say, hey, look, you did this. And he can be proud of who he is.
There's a 1 in 1,000 chance of having a child with Down syndrome.
Same as any child, just might be, you know, the stages are slower.
Jackie and Brett found out when she was 6 months pregnant.
You don't forget that moment. You know, the midwife, I was going to ring later at the end of the day, find out the results, because, you know, it's not me. And you're just going to get an all clear, and the midwife was there at midday, and I just knew as soon as she opened the door.
It took a bit of time to actually accept it and move on, but that's what we did. It's what you have to do, really.
This family hasn't so much accepted as embraced.
It wasn't until Nikolai was born that I'd actually realised I'd worried so much about the syndrome and everything associated with it, I'd completely forgot he was a wee baby, and he came out and he was just beautiful. Yeah, it was perfect.
An extra chromosome causes Downs. It's responsible for that characteristic look and affects motor skills and intellectual development.
Once he starts school, he's going to get left behind probably that little bit quicker than other kids, so if he gets a head start.
Nikolai didn't begin crawling till 15 months. He'll be able to do most things, but it'll take a little bit longer to get there.
What are your goals for...
The big goal is I'd like him to leave home. And I don't mean that in any mean way, but I want him to have as independent a life as he can. In whatever degree, you know, if it's in a supported community environment or with flatmates, you know, we don't know what the future holds, but certainly not to say that because he has Down syndrome that he can't do things. You know, hopefully the sky's the limit and he'll show us how far he wants to go.
And he'll go there with a new brother or sister. Jackie's pregnant again.
So you're having a third child. Is there a chance they could be Down syndrome as well?
Every woman, when they go and have their first scan when they're pregnant, they're given a percentage chance. And the fact is that that's a real chance. And you always think if you're a 1 in 1,000 or whatever, that it's not you, but one person is that person. So the answer is that there is always a chance, yeah. But from what we've learned, the chances aren't that much higher.
We've just decided to go with what we're given. I certainly don't regret Nikolai.
Good man. I think he's just adorable. Yeah, no, and I think that the whole family are an inspiration.
And this inspiring family hope Nikolai's achievements will help others with Down syndrome.
We were always very proud of Nikolai, but I was uncertain of what maybe the wider community was, but I think with having done the modelling, you feel confident and proud. I don't ever walk along the street and think if someone's looking at Nikolai, what are they seeing? I'm thinking, they want him, he's cute, you know, and that's how it should be, you know, with both their children.
Isn't he cute? Now, on Sunday, to raise money for the Auckland Down Syndrome Society, there'll be a buddy walk, and we'll have all the details on our website.